Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Xur and the Kodan Armada. Today on Staff Picks, we're looking at one of my all-time favorite movies, The Last Starfighter. Are you ready? Here's where it gets good. To say that this was a cable TV essential back in the day would be an understatement. It seemed like every Sunday afternoon, you're flipping through the channels, there's The Last Starfighter. You spent every Friday night of your young life watching Alex Rogan defend the frontier against Xur and the Kodan Armada. The story revolves around Alex Rogan. Simple kid from a trailer park in the middle of nowhere. Star light, star bright, as the character Otis says. And, you know, Alex just wants to go away. He wants to go away to the city college, get an education, leave the trailer park. This movie feels like an Amblin film that Steven Spielberg had nothing to do with. In fact, the movie was actually directed by the Shape himself, the original Michael Myers, Nick Castle, who also made films like Major Payne. They seem worlds apart with regard to what this movie is and what Major Payne is, but this movie is such a treasure and a gem to those of us that love it the way that I do. Arrow Video, a year or so ago, released a 4K transfer of this that looks absolutely wonderful. And it's got such a depth of growth with regard to the cult following it's garnered over the years. Alex gets plucked out of the trailer park. He's taken away to save the galaxy. But he's got self-doubt. That's what makes the character relatable. He doesn't believe he's capable of doing the things that this video game and Centauri, the recruiter who created the video game, are telling him he is capable of doing. Catherine Mary Stewart plays Alex's girlfriend in the film. She was one of those actresses that was everywhere in the 80s. Absolutely amazing, stunningly beautiful, and just wonderful in this film. Lance Guest plays Alex and Beta Unit, and the exchanges between Alex and Beta are some of my favorite in the film. However, my favorite interactions are any of the ones involving Alex's kid brother, Lewis, because Lewis is the quintessential 80s kid brother. He's Ben Seaver. He's any number of child characters on any insert sitcom here, except with a little more of a potty mouth and a lot more attitude. Really fun performance by that young actor in this, and I don't think he did a whole lot after this. All of that said, the setup for this movie is for the joystick kids, the ones that spent their Saturdays wasting their allowance at the arcade playing these video games, wishing, hoping, contemplating their future, wondering what is out there in the galaxy, in the stars. And another thing that is criminally underappreciated about this movie is the score by Craig Safran. It is epically heroic. It is one of those thunderous scores that you hear it and you recognize it, and the main theme to this movie that plays over the credits and over the intro of the film is one of my favorite pieces of music from cinema ever. The Last Starfighter is an adventure that's relatable because it comes from a place that all of us have been. Standing in front of an arcade cabinet, pondering existence, wondering what it's out there with regard to adventure. The other thing that most people don't realize is that this was one of the earliest uses of CGI. Most people, of course, go to Tron for that, which is true. However, this, I believe, actually had more shots than Tron did. And it was only a few years removed from Tron. Yes, it seems quaint by today's standards of CGI, but when you compare it to, say, the Scorpion King from the end of The Mummy Returns, well, let's face it, it looks really good. especially for the time. All that said, if you've never seen The Last Starfighter, what are you doing? Check it out right now. I'm your host, Cinema Kane. I hope you enjoyed this review of staff picks for The Last Starfighter. If you did, don't forget to do all the things. Don't forget to be kind, rewind, and I'll see you next time at the video store.